Jeeves, tell our new chauffeur to bring the Bentley round. I'd like to have lunch with the retirees group at the club. I don't think you probably have a Bentley. I don't think you probably have a chauffeur. And certainly someone like a butler at your beck and call. I could be wrong. You could be a multi-millionaire, a billionaire. That's what you have to be today. A millionaire's nothing. A billionaire. But you're probably not. You're probably like one of the many, many people I speak to on retirement. And that's what I'm going to speak to you about now. When you retire, you might think to yourself, well, I want to travel. And then you think to yourself, well, travel's pretty expensive. You won't have someone like Jeeves at your service. You won't have a chauffeured car. And if you do decide to travel, you'll probably have to do all the manhandling of the baggage and so forth yourself. When you retire early, in your 50s, say your middle 50s to maybe your 70s, then you'll be able to handle bumping up and down escalators with a big suitcase, getting onto aeroplanes, waiting around to board the plane and all this sort of thing, which travel usually entails. And you might be well willing to do that in your younger years. Since I retired, left my place of paid employment way back in 1995, I did a reasonable amount of travel. I do a lot of public speaking to groups, and so I was able to get into my car and drive to and from. And of course I didn't mind driving for an hour or so in any direction, maybe even an hour and a half, to speak to a group. And I did go overseas to speak at conferences and things like that. But when I got to about my early 80s, I found that the desire to do so was no longer there. So what's the point I'm making for you? If you're going to retire early, do your travelling while you're young. This will more or less eat into your nest egg for retirement, perhaps even more quickly than you'd like it to. And you might think to yourself, well, later on in life I won't be spending as much money because I won't be travelling as much. You could well be spending it more on medical bills. I don't know whether you will be or not. But the point is, when you retire, you need enough money to live a lifestyle that you are satisfied with. My retirement advisor asked me a question about 3 months before I retired, and I went and saw him. He said, what sort of lifestyle would you like when you retire, Tom? And I said, well, about the same as what I've got now. And I didn't think that would be possible because of a small superannuation payout. I thought, well, that's going to go. In 2 or 3 years, that'll be gone. What am I going to do then? Go on the pension? Well, it just so happened I was entitled to the pension before my super ran out, so I had a little bit to go. So what's my lifestyle been like? In the 28, coming up 29 years I've been retired. It's about the same as before I retired. And hopefully it'll be the same for you. Remember, retire as early as you can. Get the travelling out of the way whilst you can. Not everybody wants to travel. People say, oh, my job took me all over the world. I don't want to do that anymore. But for the majority of people, they look at their retirement and think, well, now's the time to go to all those places I wanted to see. If you can afford it, if you can really afford it, don't leave yourself short, then do it. Do it while you're young. I hope you got something out of this video. I am sort of fishing for things to say now because I put a lot of videos out. But if you can get something out of what I'm saying here, retire early, go on those holidays, enjoy your life while you can. Your body will become slowed down a bit, and it'll eventually reach the stage where you will no longer want to travel. So do it while the desire is still in you.